have.
Welcome back to our GURPS Hammer campaign. I'm Rigel, your GM for tonight's session. This campaign will be utilizing GURPS 4E rules, but is set in the Empire of Man, found in the Warhammer Fantasy role-playing setting, and in Warhammer Fantasy Battles, and in Warhammer Total War, etc. In addition to our live streams on Twitch, this and all future sessions will also be available on YouTube and as audio-only podcasts. Links will be found in the descriptions. Apologies for the last-minute cancellation of last week, as it was me who did that. I am giving each character a bonus character point to make up for the GM being super lame.
I totally forgot about that.
You already added that point?
I have not. We will be down Nosh at least one more session, as he is off doing work obligations. Otherwise, we are all here. FX Engineer, I need a roll for your secret into the skull. And do you have any character business for Christoph?
Nope, I don't have any character business.
Okie doke. Gigerman, do you have any character business for Jorg?
Negative on the business.
Roger. Mel, do you have any character business for Coppertongue?
I do not. Are we starting on a new day, or are we still on the same day as before?
Still the same day.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, it is late in the evening. Yeah, you guys should technically be off shift, but Jorg had to go and tell the sergeant about the corpse and all that jazz, and so he volunteered everybody. Ronki, you just gave me a roll for your secret into the skull. Thank you. Do you have any character business for Soren?
Negative.
Okay. Having to quickly make some notes for my frequency of appearance thing. Right. Okay. So, if we recall last session, hijinks and shenanigans ensued. I have to officially remind myself where it actually started. Right. So, last session, Soren determined that. How do I not have his freaking image? That is super weird. He determined that Sergeant Rudy, who had officially been sort of technically you guys' commanding officer or senior sergeant, whatever, is actually dead. And somebody is running around, or something is running around wearing his meat suit. Further, NCOIC, yes, that's the proper term. Although, are they really non-commissioned officers at this point?
Yeah, near enough.
Do I have PCs?
Sounds like a personal problem.
I think you can get a cream for that anyway.
Causes a really nasty itch.
That is what I was trying to do. All right. Further, and quite probably more importantly, your friend and cohort, Enfys, has mysteriously disappeared. Some poking around, mostly by Soren, who is the successful one, did determine that Enfys was seen leaving with Sergeant Rudy, or rather the thing or person wearing the Rudy meat suit. Since then, you haven't actually seen much of Rudy. You had a half-day shift at the Schaffenfest. And then once you were released, you ended up, or not released, but allowed to go off duty. You followed up on some stuff and ended up in the Edelring, which is the high-end part of town, wherein you checked to see if Enfys was at the Blitzen Mansion. And then as you were heading out, you observed a great number of witch hunters and soldiers storm the Tugan Mansion. And Tugan is one of the 4 great merchant houses in town. Quite probably worse, Morslib, the Chaos Moon, rose full that night. With the night setting in, the three of you started heading back toward the barracks and picked up Coppertongue from the smithy because it was closed for the evening. And at the barracks, Jorg actually reported to old friend of his, basically the top sergeant, Elsie Uberashchung. one day I'll actually get it right, and then that'll be the last day that we ever see her. And in the process, he related pretty much everything he knew about Clump and Clug being related to Enfys's disappearance and probably being dead, which led to her demanding Soren enter and debrief, which I believe left Soren somewhat frustrated at Jorg. The good sergeant then promptly tasked you guys to re-enter the sewers and retrieve that body. You stopped briefly at the Cross Pikes for a drink, also so Soren could discreetly relate to the innkeeper, Franz Bowman, who is also in charge of the local Ronaldan Thieves Guild, to make sure that the body was somewhere that they could that the PCs could find it,
Along with a convenient box nearby.
maybe. And then grudgingly, the lot of you entered the sewers again, with more slibs still hanging overhead, which is all sorts of uncomfortable and disturbing. You made the, or I did not request or ask for any climb checks, because if you recall that you never retrieved that ladder, it was still there. But you did have to make the, and I believe everybody successfully made it, the anti-nausea checks. So it's like, ooh, it stinks like hell in here, but nobody's nauseous and ready to just throw up. A reminder with regards to these sewers: there are two shafts. There's the major and the minor. You should not need to worry about the minor unless the Bowman and company are being really, really mean and forcing you to do that. Those would require you to actually wade through the effluent. The major sewers they basically have two walkways on either side, which each is only about 3 feet wide, and while the actual channel is about 5 feet wide. The channel is usually some 5 foot deep as well. So you probably don't want to have to walk through it. Curved ceiling is about 10 feet above the walkways at the highest point. Generally, they are wide enough only to allow the PCs to progress in single file. So I will absolutely need you guys to arrange the party sheet in and who's going in what direction, or who's the order. Bleh. I can say words, honest.
Well,
Movement is not, as long as you just do walking speed, which is, 1 yard around, in normal combat rounds, you should be fine. If you have to move faster or do something crazy, a dex check, which will be taken as a free action, is generally required before doing that extra movement. And anyone who fails that dex check is going to probably fall into the mug. Do I have everybody on there? Well, you're...
Yep.
All right, cool. So, looks like Jorg's taking the lead, followed by, I guess that's Copper Tongue? Yeah, looks like that's Copper Tongue, and then Soren and Christoph.
Would it be better to have Copper Tongue in the back to guard the arrow guy, Christoph?
I don't know. That's entirely up to you. I'm fine either way. I'm certain the giant rats won't attack you.
I guess Christoph volunteered to go out front.
I don't see the map.
It's not really a map.
There's no map.
Click on the party sheet. It's the second one right up there next to the combat tracker.
Oh.
And then click on order.
Oh. I was just suggesting to go first, only, for dangers, sands, traps, things like that. Or Soren would be the only other person that,
Oh, Soren's totally cool with you going up front.
Okay. Sounds good.
I don't know. Soren's also a daredevil.
Unfortunately, you can't move anybody else. You can only move yourself.
All right. How do I do this? Let's see.
I can move people.
Well, you've got to move it. I think the rest of us probably need to back up a step And this is going to be single file.
Like that.
I think that's good. One hex in between.
That way, if somebody slips, nobody can save them.
Cackle, cackle. Well, you could always, bunch up, make sure you're like tied off to one another. So if one person does slip, you all slip.
I was going to say,
I'm totally cool with that.
It also means if somebody slips, they can't knock the other one down.
Well, they might be able to, with a little bit of effort. I have faith in you. And everybody also does kind of remember that by this point, you are all aware that Copper Tongue is something of a klutz.
That's a good point. Yeah, let's keep that separation.
Wow.
I almost sort of envisioned it. Yes, Soren is. I guess Soren probably needs to be closer to the front to direct.
Yeah, he's totally cool with not being the last one.
I don't know. Everybody knows that Copper Tongue is a klutz. So you sure it's not going to be something more like that?
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So
Well,
Soren
end up
has.
like that anyway because she's slow.
Well, I don't know. Is she really any slower than you are right now? I don't remember what Jorg's movement is.
It should be at no encumbrance here, so it should be 6.
Okay, never mind. Well, you know how it is. Those dwarves, natural sprinters. Do I have? Let's see. I've got to find other things that I realized after the fact that I should have already had. That is how it goes. Okay, so you will make your way through these sewers with Soren going, yeah, we need to go this way and turn that way and watch for this and do that and that thing. I need from everyone a hearing-based perception check. Because sound echoes and carries twice as far, you will get a +1 modifier. It can be kind of in the open.
Margin critical.
Who are you and what have you done with Mel's dice?
Shush.
Okay, so based off of the results here, we've got Kristoff by 8.
Damn, that's some big successful rolls.
Soren by 7. Jorg is lagging super far behind with his success by 3, as Copper Tongue's got that margin crit by 10. Okay. So you guys are progressing through, shuffling through the stinky, smelly sewer, trying to not think of, all the gunk that is floating by you and why it's so green down here based off of that sewer establishing map. Maybe it's because of the moon that's hanging over the town. And you will hear in the direction that you are actually heading, definitely what sounds like something of a scuffle, but you're not entirely sure how far ahead it is because of the weird echoes.
How deep is? You said it goes. How deep is the water?
I wouldn't necessarily call it water,
Right.
but it is. I mean, there's certainly water involved.
In general,
it is usually around 5 foot deep,
Right.
But and filled with at least half full with the worst that Bogenhofen has to offer. So it's not going to necessarily be 5 foot deep of crap.
Right.
It's probably close to be like 2 or 3 feet of crap, but the actual channel itself is about 5 feet deep.
Right.
Yeah, I remember you had said that. I just wasn't sure if we were walking like along the side. I mean, if we were walking in 2.5 feet of crap, so it's like up to our calves.
Walkways. Actually, let me remind.
Up to our waist.
Which is why we're restricted to single file, because we're on the sidewalks.
Let's see. How do I turn the lighting off on this thing? Okay, there's that. Turn that. So I am going. Ignore the temple if you can see it, because I just turned everything off. But focus more on that, to give you an idea of how it's where how the main channels are. Damn it! Do I not seriously? Oh, did that not even come up? Did that stupid thing not come up?
Depends on what stupid thing you're talking about.
The map.
I'm seeing the map.
Okay. I guess there's just a serious lag on the Twitch thing. I just wanted to look to see. Yeah, I'm not using this. Not necessarily using this, but it is definitely that's so to clear up how FX is thinking. And at about that time, Soren is going to realize that you are absolutely looking at where the box and the body was supposed to be left, and it's like on the other side of the gunk, but it looks like it is not there, and there is something of a like almost a trail of blood leading around a corner.
Oh, right. It's Emphas having breakfast.
Damn it! Hold
You
on,
joke.
I have to readjust my campaign now. Since he's figured it out. Right. Okay. So based on the note there, Kristoff gestures to stop, and he will scout ahead. Is that actually going to be the plan for everybody? Going to let him sneak forward?
Well, we can wait a minute.
Well, he failed his gesture. Should we interpret it as he means follow me? And I'll keep going.
Oh, I totally missed that he failed that. Absolutely.
Do as you will. Yeah, that's he heard something. He's like, makes a little hand signal to stop, and he's going to continue on ahead. So,
Is
Very
there a
followed, very
way?
loudly.
Is there a way to get to the other side
Yeah, there's always a way. There's a couple ways. One
that
you
doesn't
can, like-
require jumping across?
Yeah, that means you can wade across.
All right, let me clarify. Is there a way to get across without going into the shit?
Yeah, you can try to jump.
I give up.
can you scale the walls and climb across from the ceiling with pittance?
I'm guessing that's probably a no-go.
You'll have to toss me.
Let me see. I'm looking at the establishing shot. I suppose there might be locations where you could possibly do that. Like, probably the main intersections or something like that. Let me double check. I thought there was actually some additional notes about the main intersections where it's like, the main, a couple of main lines come together. But that's going to be kind of a difficult climb.
Well, it's only about 6 feet across, so you just have Soren lay across, and we'll just walk across Soren.
Soren just starts to wind his middle finger up at your...
Well, you can jump like twice your move minus 3 feet. It's like your standard jump, broad jump.
Remember, that's half if you're doing that without a run-up.
In which case, you could do a run-up. You just have to make a dex check first, and hope you don't flub it.
Yeah, except you'd have to do your run-up at a 90-degree angle to your jump.
Well, if you run, it's actually twice. Isn't it? Don't you get to add your move? Oh no, you're probably right. It's
No,
move.
it expects that you take 2 seconds to spring up, and I think it also expects that you have a distance to run.
I don't know, Soren. That seems like something a daredevil might consider.
Well, a standing broad jump, according to the GURPS calculator, for Soren would be 4 yards.
There's also the issue of overhead.
Yeah, overhead's fine. Curved ceiling reaches 10 feet above the walkway at the higher points. I don't understand why they have these absurdly luxurious sewers, but they apparently do. Yeah, based off of the notes that I see, characters who wish to cross the effluent channel must leap or wade. There's only room for a run-up if the character runs diagonally, a leap of 4 yards.
That's the GURPS calculator.
You know, we're totally hoping to see you borrow Copper Tongue's dice when you make that jump, right?
Yeah, Soren's not jumping. It's Christoph that wants to go ahead.
Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean that he was wanting to cross over.
Do we have to?
Right. I did establish it was going around a corner. Let's see here. Who is?
Well, I
he's
think Christoph will go for it. He'll jump.
Oh, right. Is he impulsive?
No, but he doesn't see this as, this is not, for him anyways, a crazy jump. 6 feet.
Well, it's 4 foot across the actual. The channel itself is actually just 4 feet.
Yeah, 4 feet. I mean, I could almost step across 4 feet. So that's just.
Sorry, yards.
Oh, yards. No, definitely 4 yards would be a little bit more. Sorry, I thought you were when you said that, I was thinking feet. Yards for sure.
Okay, is this map not correct?
Map. Oh, right. I had to close that because I was not paying attention to it. I have to find my map again.
I drew an arrow and it's at
2 yards. The whole sewer is 4 yards wide. The actual sewer water section is 2 yards on the map.
That's moderately amusing to me because I was complaining about the actual temple was the size or the proportions were all wrong based off of the description text in the adventure, but it seems like the temple or the shrine or whatever is like 3 times as large as it should be, and the actual sewer and the walkway is about half the size of what it's supposed to be. But we've got the map. That's what the map is showing. So 2 yards, I guess it is. That'll teach me. Actually, pay attention to my maps. So yeah, I suspect 2 yards is not going to be particularly difficult of a jump. And based off of, I went ahead and borrowed Enfys's character sheet to do a level of universe reaction roll. And based off of that, it does look like you are going to have to cross over because the drag is going around a corner.
You would need a basic move of 5 or greater to just do a standing jump across. Otherwise, you're going to need a run up.
Well, it's not just about clearing the distance. You got to stick the landing here as well.
It'll be fine. I'm certain you won't all fall into the muck and then be grossed out by it.
How far to the corner?
I don't know. It's a corner.
So we're right at the corner.
Ish. Don't overthink it.
All right. Well, if Christoph is not going to, jump, then Soren will shake his head. Actually, I should roll for this.
Oh no! I mean, Christoph will make the jump because that's where we want to go, anyways. Or at least he's going to go check.
Sure. Go ahead.
Before he does that, he does kind of check: is it slippery, mossy? Just to kind of
slippery down here.
Kind of like a common sense gut check before he makes the jump. So he'll.
Yeah, gut check is you're gonna have to make a dex check once you land.
Oh, he's got a dex of 13. He should be fine.
We're fairly agile in general.
All right.
I'm just looking at the rules for jumping. Looks like poor Copper Tongue is lagging behind with her dex at 12.
All right. Anyway, let's just go for it. We're talking too much. So it's dex, right? Make a dex roll when you. I mean, he's gonna jump, and then it says unless it's a extreme jump, GM will assume you can make the jump. Don't worry, unless he wants to be a evil GM, and then he'll make it, -1 through whatever, and then it's a dex check to land. So, do you want me to roll my dex for landing? He jumped across.
So I believe everybody can actually make that normally as a standing. Is that correct?
You need a move of 5.
I don't know.
A move of 5. Basic move of 5 to be able to do a standing jump across.
Okay, if it's a basic move of 5, then I believe everybody can, because even Copper Tongue's basic move, but her basic move
Nope.
is 6. Your basic
What?
move
Oh,
is
well,
6.
yeah.
Right?
What the heck?
Right, I took. I was thinking current move. I was looking at the wrong box.
Yeah. Does encumbrance apply to jumps?
Yep.
Well,
it
it
does.
takes into account your actual move.
Yeah, in which
So, like-
case she definitely will end up needing to make the actual jump check.
Either
If she can
either
make
that
it.
or she drops her pack and then throws it across or something.
I think it's mostly all of her armor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, then Kristoff covers the distance and hits the slippery side on the other across the ook and makes the dex check? Question mark. Hey, by 4, you stuck the landing. You slid a little bit, but you're okay.
So what I could do is whoever's next, kind of be ready to give them a little bit of support when they land.
I'm actually surprised. It's been a while since I've read into the jumping rules. I'm surprised there's not normally a roll associated with it.
Yeah, actually, I think we've always required the rolls, and then it's like, oh, you don't necessarily need the rolls.
Well, you always assume there's a roll involved.
Well, the roll for landing for sure, I think is kind of cool, but
Well, this is
otherwise
the
it's
case
mostly
where it
extra
needs it.
effort. So it's like an extra. It's a -1 for every 5% if you wanted to use extra effort to jump further than you normally could.
Yeah, when you want to jump over something with a size modifier 3 less than yours or smaller. So that's, I guess, that's
It's
in
just-
2?
Yeah, no, it's is it difficult is really the question. Is it
Just the
difficult enough
landing,
to
really.
justify a roll?
It's just the landing, really.
So,
Right.
yeah, it's not that
Or if-
far.
Or if it's like, the GM is making this like a challenge for us, because otherwise
Uh-huh.
we're gonna it's too much pain in the
Because
ass.
if it was
So-
like in combat, I would absolutely go, yeah, you're gonna have to make the jumping checks because of reasons.
But that
All
would
right.
be according to the rules.
All right. So whoever's next up, I guess maybe Soren.
Well, I guess we're all crossing. So whoever's next. So Kristoff went first already.
Yep.
Soren will go, but he will take a little bit of time to line himself up to get a good jump.
Wow.
He wanted to go
Well, you
in.
don't have to make it a lot.
Right. You hit the other side. Now you need to give me a dex check when you land to see if you land on something that's very, very slippery and you maybe skid right into Kristoff and knock both of you into the gook.
Can I use jumping for that, or do I need to roll dex?
It's not really going to matter.
Well,
I think they're both
As we just discussed,
13
we
for you.
don't actually need a jumping roll here.
So we don't need a roll to jump.
Yeah, but you tried to make yourself look cool. That was close.
All right, I think
Landed,
I'm next
you
in line.
skidded a little bit, and you're like, oh, crap. Oh, nope, no crap today.
All right, Jörg is aiming, so he'll bump into the opposite wall when he lands, and hopefully not so hard that he bounces off it.
I was about to say
And he's all good. Slides
Damn.
right in.
success by 8. That's like kind of, you just stopped. You hit the other side and just stopped.
That's because he hit the wall. There's now an imprint of Jorg on the other side.
It's totally underneath a building, and they're up there like, what the hell? Damn, those rats are getting big.
All right, Copper,
And
you're
now-
up.
Now we get
And-
to Copper.
And now for comedy. Gonna jump.
But
Success by 2.
no, I actually paid attention to her clutch check, and she'd actually succeeded at it, so you didn't need to make the pratfall.
And there's the dex check.
Wow, look at that.
Success by 4.
So, to my great disappointment, no one falls into the effluent.
Soren puts away his phone, goes, damn it. That was so going to go up on TikTok,
Dwarf talk.
Dwarf Talk.
All right, so you continue around the corner and head back in the direction. You realize that you're actually heading in the direction where the three-legged goblin like sort of broke in. Although it's kind of odd that the box was on that side. I guess Soren might be thinking that maybe Bowman was like being a smartass when he decided to put it on the other side.
But it doesn't matter because it's not here.
But it's not here. You push forward a little bit. You don't really hear a lot more of the scuffling, but just as you sort of round another corner, you are going to find right there at the wall where it was you had the I don't remember what that thing was really called. It was like the grate for the where they could air out, stuff would air out, and the goblin squirmed its way through. Standing right there is actually, well, you're fairly certain it's not Rudy, because he is holding one of the two Rhines that Soren knows. It's actually the not the quiet one, but the other one. He's like holding this guy in the air by his throat, sort of like Darth Vader does in episode 4. And he sort of turns towards you, and he gives you this creepy smile.
Who is he holding?
You don't necessarily recognize. Yorg may have seen this guy before in the Crosspikes Tavern, but he doesn't really recognize him. Soren will recognize him as one of Franz Bowman's acolytes. This would be the guy that was actually initially talking to Soren and trying to get him to go talk to his boss. And not Rudy will kind of effortlessly tear this guy's head right off of his shoulders.
That's not good.
Okay, so let's see, I'm going to start at the top of it's not quite combat, because, well, I'm not throwing a combat map up there. But how is Yorg reacting to the fact he's just seen? He doesn't think it's Rudy, oh yeah, I also did forget to mention that when he was holding the guy up, the guy's feet were hanging over the gunk. So, because the guy was kind of taller than Rudy, so it wouldn't really been very useful to try to hold somebody up by the neck if their feet still hit the ground. But how does Yorg immediately react to this?
I need to understand the geography here.
Okay, what do you need to know?
I don't understand the geography of the scene. Where is he? What is around? Where are we in relation to him?
He's trying to
I don't need a
bring it
map.
up on
I
the
just
map.
need an explanation. I can't.
He is standing in front of the wall, which that's where the damn it, what is that thing called? It's the grate that the dwarf. I keep saying dwarf. That's not right. The goblin entry point is a breathing shaft, is what they're calling it. And it has a grill. So if you look at this is not going to be exactly right, this thing, but if you look way over here on the end, it is sort of like that, but the channel just has stopped. So he would be standing basically. Did it show a dude drop in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'd be standing basically above that, and right at the lip, and holding a guy over.
Okay, so is this at the end of the tunnel that we're on, or is it branching off to the side?
No, it ends here.
So our tunnel that we're in is dead ending, and he's at the end of it.
Correct.
Okay, better. And did you say there's a cross at the end, or is it still
a cross? What do you?
Is there?
Well, yeah, I guess you could just theoretically go around up here because it sort of curves.
Right. Okay, near enough. Okay, so back to the question. Yorg's flight or freeze here, so I'm thinking it's probably fight. He's probably going to want to go kill whatever the hell that is. because Rudy's supposed to be dead, and if that's not Rudy, then not Rudy should be dead as well.
What
Right,
you
so
don't know is it's all been Soren's lie, and Rudy's not actually dead. This is the real Rudy, and we're going to make Rudy dead.
Well, if it's the real Rudy, he just tore somebody's head off for no good reason.
maybe he
Well,
had a
as far
good
as we know.
reason
I can't think of a good reason to tear somebody's head off. So
to crop down the throat.
York is not foolhardy enough to go charging down the side of this very slippery walkway. So
You
he
sure?
will be somewhat more cautious with the sword out, ready.
And kind of wishing he had went and purchased a pistol.
He is kind of wondering about that. Now, York was also not at the front of the pack, so he'd have to go past people in order to do that.
Remember, in combat, if you move more than one hex, you have to make the dex check.
Right, so he is moving slowly.
So he's like moving.
Also, he has to wait for the people in front of him.
Right. So he's like, readying his weapon, maybe taking a step forward.
Yeah.
All right. Next person is Christoph. How is Christoph reacting?
Did you the one step forward dex check thingy? Is that because of the terrain, the difficult terrain?
It's really tight. It's and it's also everything is really slippery in here.
And have they noticed? Has not Rudy noticed us?
He's absolutely turned and grinned at you guys. I mean, look at the picture. He's giving you a Joker grin, and his eyes might be kind of weird too. You may have to zoom in to see that his eyes are a little weird, but
all right. We're sort of kind of stuck in single file unless somebody jumps in, goes in the water or crosses through the hex that we're in.
Yeah, you can
right?
charge forward if you want to.
I do not want to charge forward.
I want
but
you to charge forward.
I do want to. I don't think I have fast draw long bow, so he's going to pull his bow. He didn't have it. He's going to draw his bow, or he's going to ready his bow, I guess.
Ready action.
Yeah, ready action. Like, what the heck's going on here? He's like, hair standing on end.
Yep. How is
So-
Soren reacting?
Christoph was in front, and he's holding position. Is that true?
Well, I'm just looking at the map. It looks like we're all kind of on the same hex, so I was having a hard time. I guess if I'm in front, he's not going to run to the back of the pack.
Right. No, that's fine. I was just confirming that you're holding position where you are.
So he will hold position. I don't know if I can crouch as a free action, but he will crouch if he can, or as a step.
Soren will see that it looks like we're getting ready for a fight, so he will draw his short sword.
So Queen's in the back, if I remember right.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
So she's going to see, I guess, Jorg pull out a weapon, and she'll be like, "What do you see?" in a whisper, and then ready hers.
Right. Forgot that she's like that. Okay, so. Alrighty. So. All right. So, Rudy, well, probably not Rudy, presumably not Rudy, is going to hurl the skull, the head, whatever, at the first person who is present, who I believe is Christoph.
10-pin bowling.
I need from Christoph, and actually it's going to be probably from nearly everybody, except maybe Coppertongue, who can't see past these bloody Longshanks, to give me a fright check. Because as he throws the head, it bursts into green fire and is still screaming.
Mm-hmm.
So no fright check from Copper.
She can probably hear the scream, but she can't see what's going on. Let's see. So this would give the +5 for the heat of battle, but it's a -3 additional for the unnaturalness and the general location. So that's going to be by +2. It looks like everybody has made that thus far. Yeah, she's fine. Okay, so for Kristoff, this skull is going to hit you unless you find some way to avoid getting hit. Note that any diving dodge is going to totally put you in the muck.
Oh, okay, right. If I did a dodge, it has to be because it's a range attack.
Yeah, any diving dodge will absolutely put you in the muck. But you can attempt a regular dodge.
Okay, so I can do a regular dodge because it's like a slow moving. It's not like a bullet. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's not able to throw it that fast.
Okay. Yeah, I mean he will go for the dodge, of course. Unless he could dive forward. Can I dive forward? Like, do I have to dive in the muck?
Let's see. Well, if you dive forward, that is going to prompt another dex check. Damn it, that's what I forgot to look up. This thing is treated like explosive fireball, and it's just like I have to actually remind myself how the explosive part works. Yeah, so yeah, you can't, like I said, you could theoretically do that, but you would have to do the dex afterwards. What are you linking me here, Giger? Right, that's your thing, but I'm really trying to remember how big the blast radius is on this thing.
What's the dice damage?
3D.
Let's see. Max range is 6, or radius.
Is it? Okay. Right. So, Kristoff, defend yourself, sir, or don't. I'm cool with that.
Is it a +3 if I do the? Or how much is my bonus if I dive again?
Dive is 3.
Yeah, I think dive is 3. I can never remember.
It's just a retreat.
Damn it! Why did that minimize? Frickin' Windows was helping me again. I moved my mouse a couple times, and it decided, "Oh, you want to completely minimize everything? I can do that." Right. Waiting on you, Kristoff.
Sorry, I was reading the diving for cover just to make sure I did it right. So if I succeed, you're a step further away. If you fail, you suffer the effect before you make your step. Okay, got it. All right. So dodge +3. I do have insane.
That's all you're doing.
I do have insane luck, so he will. I think he made it.
That is by 3. Yes. All right. Then give me a dex check as you hit the kind of hard stone and discover it's kind of slippery.
Okay.
18.
What's the dex check for?
To see if you manage to avoid sliding off of the thing, because you've moved a bit more. See, you had a moment where you're like, oh, whoa.
Okay, so success by 0 on a dex check, so I'm lying prone, 1 hex forward.
Yes.
Or 1 hex forward from where I was.
Never mind if he slid. Mike.
Yeah, that would help actually pushing the bloody button. All right, so the blast misses him, but is going to hit the area behind him.
What's the distance? Guess it's going to be 1 yard.
Yes. I believe... crap, I can't put her further than that. So he's 1 hex higher than or further ahead than he was. If you look at the party sheet, it would hit where he was at.
Okay. Right, which would mean that Soren would be at 3 yards.
Right. So can be thrown at a wall, floor, etc. +4 to hit to catch in the blast. The target and anyone closer to the target than 1 yard takes closer to the target.
Okay.
Takes so those further away divide damage by 3 times the distance. Okay. So since he dodged, I am going to make the presumption that it's hitting and exploding like sort of behind him, right?
Okay. but it's still 1 yard range. So that being the case, average damage at that range for 3D is going to be 3 and max is 6. So if he has armor to cover that, which I don't believe he does, then
Who are
you wouldn't
talking
have to bother
about?
rolling. That's specifically for Christoph.
He does have armor. Let me look at his armor.
I do.
Well,
have
he
armor.
doesn't have DR6 though. If you want to go ahead and roll the damage, you can roll the damage, and then I'll tell you what it cuts down to.
It's my highest and my lowest divided by 2, right? Or my torso and lowest.
I just saw what you put on the spreadsheet as for the source of it's explodey head.
Okay, so at a range of 1, he would take 3 points.
Oh, right. So then I do the hit location to see if he takes any of it. Because he could.
The hit
chest?
location doesn't matter. This is
It's
collateral.
area
This is
effect.
the concussion.
Right.
So is it my
And-
highest plus my lowest, or my torso plus my lowest divided by 2,
I
something
think
like that?
just take half torso. I don't know if the concussion is large area or if it just goes to the torso. Now,
let's see. It
Soren's
just
gonna pick
says
1.
It explodes, and it's burn damage. So
Okay. Well, it's not going to be enough damage to catch anything on fire.
nope. So Soren's going to be the only other one that
Yeah.
takes any damage. Well, hot damn! I should have pumped the a whole bunch of extra stuff into it. Made it a 9D.
Well, I mean, you could throw some fragmentation in there if you really want to.
I'm not going to throw any fragmentation in there. I've got Christoph flat on his face in front of me, and Soren's going, I've got a very slight burn.
It's use torso armor to determine DR against explosion damage, so it's just your torso.
Okay, in that case, Soren takes no damage. But he will
I
get...
Explosive,
Ah.
that was pretty small.
I think it went in my mouth.
I think I have
Yeah.
either 1. I have 2 or 1. I'm not sure what my leather armor gives me.
Leather
Where do
armor
I see that?
is 2. I generally go to the inventory and click on the button on the far right.
I
Is
see it.
your-
Okay.
DR not filled in on the sheet?
DR 2/2, it says.
No,
Okay.
no, the combat tab. Yeah, you have DR2.
It does say
So
DR
you-
2, yeah. So 1 point of like burning damage.
Sounds that way. It scorched your armor a little bit. That bastard.
Well, I guess he can only throw that guy's head once.
Well, I'm going to be letting he's also letting the now headless body fall into the muck.
And I can't update I don't think I can update my damage on the combat tracker. Oh, do I update it on my sheet?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
your sheet.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I run into the same problem. I've done that several times. Why the hell can't I do that? Oh, right, I'm not supposed to do it there.
Okay, so Soren is in front of me, and does Soren look like he is hesitating or advancing? I am asking the player.
He's waiting for Yorg's lead.
So he's hesitating.
So,
Shove him into the muck.
yeah, he just drew his weapon and is waiting to see what we're doing.
All right, well, that means I'm going to have to squeeze past you then.
You should totally shove him in the muck.
Well, you know, if we just get in there and get it over with, but no. So I am going to have to take, I guess even if I did a double step, it's still going to count as more than one hex movement. So I'm just going to do my dex check and be done with it.
I
That'd
need you
help
to
us all.
fail so you will grab a hold of Soren and pull him into the muck with you.
I'd rather not.
Please? Pretty please.
I will not. And I will waste a good critical on something that doesn't need it. All right, so that means I am going to be past Soren at that point and still advancing. So I am 2 hexes behind Christoph's prone self.
Something like that. Clearly I'm not that wasn't planning on proper fight. That's cool. All right, Christoph, you're prone. Also, it took you a moment. You didn't quite realize it until just now. But your finger, the one that has that damn ring on, it feels like it's on fire. There's no actual penalty here. It's just What the hell?
Okay. Um, does he have the enough information? Does Christoph have enough? Can he link it to not Rudy, or does he think maybe it's related to being burned, or has no idea?
Yeah, I think currently at the moment he doesn't have quite enough information.
Okay. He's like cursing on his breast, under his breath, mother fricker, blah blah blah. He's quite angry at this point, and he's like, and he just makes a silent vow that not Rudy's going to pay for this. So I guess a step, or I guess a change posture maneuver. Yep, to get to his niece, and that's all I can really do at this point.
Yep. Quick,
Right.
Soren, shove Jorg into the muck.
Soren will step forward, following Jorg.
Well, technically, I think at this point you would be waiting for Jorg to continue to advance because he's like right in front of you.
All right. Well, that's Soren's plan.
Okay. So Queen is going to follow behind Jorg and try to edge her way forward if there's room.
Yeah, she's a few hexes behind the rest of us at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point she can definitely see that, that's definitely not Rudy. Also, he seemed to have just dropped a body into the muck.
She just grunts and she'll move closer.
So noted. All right. So, this round, not Sergeant Rudy will kick a box you just realized is actually there because you're so focused on him. And Soren, you are definitely going to recognize that box as the one you kind of expected, the real dead Rudy, his body to be in, but not Rudy, like sort of push kicks, whatever. It so it like goes, it slides off the edge and lands into the muck. And as it is going off the lip, you're going to see the contents, which almost kind of sort of looks like a body, catch fire. Green fire again, of course.
And I'm assuming this body looks like Rudy.
It does kind of sort of look like Rudy. But there's, terrible, ugly green smoke, or not green smoke, but green fire raging from inside. It obviously hasn't totally consumed it yet. But he gives another fearsome grin and explodes into black smoke. My mouse is suddenly acting all sorts of stupid. For all intents and purposes, the combat is over because he is going to vanish through that hole. However, there is a box that is now with a body that is now on fire. And Soren is absolutely going to recognize that the real Rudy, the body you were told to retrieve, is in that box and is on fire.
FX hot mic.
Sorry.
I recognize that washing machine.
Oh.
I'm glad I didn't say anything bad about anybody.
Well, there's nothing bad to say.
Right. So the corpse that is on fire in the box is probably the real sergeant. Well, his body anyway, that you were told to bring back. You can all feel the heat coming from there. So you're going to only have a couple of seconds before it's a charcoal brick. So it's entirely up to you how you're going to react to that.
We're going to have to put it out, or we're not going to have any evidence. And there's really only one way I can think of at the moment that we're going to be able to put him out, and that is to kick it over into the effluent.
Well, the box is already in it.
Oh, was it in the channel? Okay, so we just have to tip it.
Is. Yeah, but you'd have to get in there too.
No, we don't.
We'd like log roll it.
Well, it is on fire though, so there's that.
Right.
Well,
So
the box
your-
is not. The body is not the box. Or are they all on
and
fire?
Currently, the body is what is on fire. That does not mean the box is not also going to catch fire.
I was debating whether he would try to get. He'll say something to Copper to help him out because I believe she's got an axe with probably a hook on it, at least a little bit. But he's going to have to flip the sword over, half sword, and use the cross guard to try to pull the box and tip it.
Yeah, you'll have to get a little closer too.
Well, it's reach 2, so
True.
but closer, yes.
Okay. So you are advancing forward, and you're basically, I don't know, do you have that perk that lets you instantly change grip? Is it grip mastery?
Yes, and I do have that.
Yeah. So and if I recall, that's like you can change it as a free action.
Yes.
All right. So then I'm not going to say you need to do a ready action to flip it around. So you're holding it by the thing because that's basically what you're doing.
Yeah. So he'll do that.
Okay.
No idea if it's going to be effective at all, but that's what we got.
Yeah. Okay. So you are advancing forward doing that. Let's see here. So Kristoff, that ring, because it's so freaking hot right now. You have this really brief flashback moment to when you saw Enfys casting Extinguish Fire, and you can almost think you might actually be able to do the same.
Is there anywhere where I can like step out of line of sight and attempt that?
Nope.
But
can,
there aren't any witch hunters in the party.
Yeah, it's almost like maybe your secret triggered last time you rolled. Not today, but last time.
Right. So I had an opportunity to not let it come out.
Yeah,
No, you have an opportunity right now.
Yeah, you can like not do you don't have to try to extinguish. You can go, oh wow, that sucks.
No, does it hurt? Is he in pain?
It only hurts the first time.
It hurts, but it's not actual. It's not providing any penalties.
Right. Well, I'm just trying to determine like if it's painful enough that he's willing to risk it. What he'll do is maybe like, oh, hey, what's that over there? Looks like it might be a trap. Let me go check, and then kind of walk away from the party.
Well, the problem is when you do the or when you have that momentary flashback, you will sort of remember that the fire was sort of it almost looked like it was sucked into Enfys's hand. So if you do that, it probably will be noticeable.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the pain from the ring.
Right. Yes. So the ring when you got this pause. This is some meta knowledge. When you guys did the inexplicable decision to put the ring around the concentrated warp stone, I had you make the universe reaction roll into the box, and the result was not great for you. So that ring is, I don't want to say it's alive, but it may have some capabilities that are trying to use you to manifest. And in this case, it's sort of like trying to push you toward being able to cast some more spells.
No, he's totally willing to go to the dark side.
They have cookies.
But what I'm saying is he's gonna try to. I guess I got confused with what you said that they're gonna see the fire. Is there an actual fire that's gonna be extinguished? I thought it was just a pain that I'm feeling in my finger. So he's gonna like walk away from the party, and as he's walking away, he will cast the spell.
Yeah, I guess you kind of got lost there.
I guess you missed that. So right before Not Rudy exploded into smoke, or turned into a smoke monster and went through the grate to escape. He kicked a box that had a body in it into the effluent. The body that is in the box is the real dead Rudy, and it caught on fire. That's what the fire was.
And we need that body.
Also,
Also, we're all like,
He is
put it
not
out,
gonna
put it
do it.
out.
he will not give in.
Your ring is super disappointed. Okay, so you are, I guess, just changing posture to standing.
Yeah, he'll stand up. Are we still like round by round here?
Yes, because I know how long
Until-
the body, or how many rounds it takes before the body turns into complete charcoal.
Yeah. Sorry, not Rudy, but can't help. Or sorry, real Rudy, can't help you.
All right, Soren. Yeah,
You're not helping him, you're helping
at,
us.
At Copper Tongue, yeah, that's a possibility. You may have to kill him down the road.
Soren's going to do whatever he can to try and get this body put out without having to jump into the muck. So he'll do it from the edge. He'll sort of, kick his leg over, trying to, roll this. I'm assuming that the box is acting like a boat, sort of, at the moment.
Temporarily, yeah.
It should be pretty obvious what Jörg is trying to do.
Yeah, it looks like Jörg's going to be trying to do the same with his. He's going to be trying to hook it with his greatsword.
Well, so Soren will stand by and assist where he can.
Seriously, why is my sister calling me now? Go to voicemail, sis.
Okay, so we've already got 2 people working on the body, right?
Ish.
Dwarves have a resistance to disease, right?
Yeah, that's why I was gonna see if Queen should just go hop in and flip the thing.
Well, that was
But she only has 1 hand though, so she would struggle to get purchase on it.
Well,
Does she have an axe?
but you got multiple people there working on it too, so
Yeah, she
you
does
might
have an
be
axe.
the tipping point, as it were.
Yeah. All right. So Copper Tongue will be. She really wants to go attack not Rudy, but she'll go. She's going to hop in the muck. She's going to hop in the muck and try to flip over the box.
Whoosh. Okay, now I have to jump to the thing.
GM has been wanting somebody to get in the muck for the past 5 weeks. So here you go.
The GM has wanted someone who was not Copper Tongue to get into the muck because Copper Tongue, unless she rolls an 18, and even then, no, I don't even think even then. Well, yeah, I guess an 18 is always a fail, but because it's like health 12 normally, plus 8 for disease, dwarf disease resistance. And then it's like for waiting, it's like a +1. So that puts it at 21 versus waiting. If she's like, I guess technically she would be temporarily immersed. That's health -1. So that's health 19.
Yeah,
so
sorry, man.
Everybody else was much cooler. I mean, Kristoff had a 10 versus immersion, and Enfys and Jörg and Soren had 11s if they're immersion. So it's like, yeah, they could theoretically contract itching pox or galloping trots or worse, the bloody flux.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint. Not.
Right. So to everyone's possible surprise, Copper Tongue goes and just jumps into the stuff. There's a nice little sploosh.
She's going to smell really good later.
Not so much. Jörg, you can make your attempt. Let's see. I wonder what that would be.
Does it need anything? Dex, maybe?
Possibly Dex, yeah.
Probably reasonable. I have Dex.
By 6, yeah. So just as Copper Tongue splashes into it, and you're like, what the heck? You're able to hook the side and start tilting it over. So now it's definitely got a lot of muck, on it. So it's not as burny.
I'm gonna have to clean this sword thoroughly.
Kristoff is, sitting there going, I could have done this better, but nope.
No, I think Not that he doesn't trust them like personally, but yeah, I think Copper Tom would probably turn him in, and Jorg would think he's doing the right thing. So
Yeah, that's yeah. Thinking that through, he is aware that Copper Tongue has the honesty, so that probably was safer.
um, so yeah, I guess I have a rope in my pack. I don't know if that's going to be helpful to what the effects that we're doing, with copper in the water.
Well,
May-
she's going to need to get back out, and then you guys are going to need to go upstairs,
So
get up. So having him spend a couple rounds pulling the rope out makes perfect sense.
so that's what he'll do then.
Okay, Soren, is Soren doing anything special, or is he going to go? They've got this, and sort of step back and let him do it.
He'll help if there's an opportunity to help. Otherwise, he'll not get in their way.
All right. So between Jorg hooking it in there and Copper Tongue just sort of wading forward and sort of flipping it over, you are able to successfully dunk the slightly burned, fairly badly burned, but not 6-round burned body of of dead Rudy into the gunk. So you'll have to fish him out, but on the bright side, he's already dead. It's not like he's going to complain. And then with Kristoff extracting a rope, it will take a little bit of time, but you can definitely extract the body, and Copper Tongue, who is stinky. So just for meta knowledge, if the fire is allowed to burn for the full 6 rounds or 6 seconds, the damage is so bad that identification is impossible. That's
excellent.
why I was continuing with the round by round. Okay, so it'll take a little bit of time and some a little bit of effort, but everybody wants to steer clear of Copper Tongue, who's drenched in gunk. Oh yeah, she also needs to make the unnecessary health check to see if she rolls an 18.
Not an 18, 6x1 without the
Yep.
bonuses.
Yep. So that's an 11. So that would have been a success by 8. So I think she's fine. Darn it. One day I'll be able to use the itching pox or the galloping trots or the bloody flex.
That day will come.
Today
She
does
climbs
not look
out of
like
the-
that day.
She climbs out of the water and shakes off like a dog. So water goes everywhere.
Not just water.
Yeah. And other things.
Okay. So, you have just had an unreasonable experience in the sewers.
What will come out no more?
You have retrieved dead Rudy's body. The box is mostly intact, although it really stinks right now. But then so does he. Then you have to retrace your steps back to the stairs, not stairs, ladder.
Yeah, now we got to get that box up a ladder.
Luckily, Kristoff was wise enough to go, "Hey, I've got a rope, so can send someone up there, or maybe several someones, and tie the rope here. So then they sort of start hauling it up. Probably want to send the strongest PCs.
Yeah,
Well,
you're going to want to
strongest
burn that
piece.
rope afterward.
Not a problem.
Strongest PCs currently are Jorg and Copper Tongue. It'll take some effort, but it's not impossible. Everyone is absolutely ready to not do this crap again. It's also rather disconcerting to be there, in the open street with Morslib just sort of looking down. Did I actually have that image? Way to forget that. One of those days. Morslib. Good times. You will be able to then proceed back in the direction of the main barracks, where that's where you guys were supposed to be. All of you kind of stink. At least one of you really, really stinks. But luckily, there's a place in the courtyard that is generally used for cleaning off prisoners. because, sometimes they catch them in the sewers.
Of course, that water has been exposed to moonlight.
It's just water. You don't want to go inside if you haven't been cleaned, especially if you're Copper Tongue.
Yeah, Copper
Oh,
Tongue
no, it
is
might
going to
be
go.
funny.
It would be funny. Copper Tongue will go clean as best she can,
And
including
you'll
like
also-
healed.
Yeah, and you'll also kind of need to clean the at least some of the body because it was in the gunk too. While you are waiting, you can also send someone to inform Sergeant Uberashchung, who is the watch sergeant for tonight as well, and she will come out there and like, got that? Oh wow, you guys stink. Sort of thing, but we'll make sure that there's nobody immediately around to see who the hell you're hosing off in that box. And she's going to look at it and say, well, that certainly looks like him.
Are we going to tell her about the bad version of him?
Yeah.
You're good, Ash. I'm bad, Ash.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think if there would be any reason Elsa would have any knowledge of the death of the purple guys, or no, the bounty hunters.
Bounty
I don't know if she was involved in that quote unquote investigation.
Well, everybody's gonna have heard of it.
Well enough to recognize the mauling as being potentially related.
Oh, I see what you mean. Possibly not.
Well, Yorg would point that out if there's a reason to point that out, but if she doesn't know anything about it, then there's no reason to.
Right. Yeah, and Copper or Mel has another question, whether you're going to mention not Rudy, Evil Rudy, Smoke Monster Rudy.
We should probably tell her.
Yeah, no, we definitely. Well, I mean, we already said that there was a double running around, so hey, we ran into the double down there too, by the way, and he was not normal.
What does that mean?
Just to be clear, it turned to smoke and left the sewers, so we don't need to go back down there.
Let's see.
Just saying.
It had an evil grin and wrong eyes, and it tore a guy's head off, turned it into an exploding fireball, and threw it at us, and then turned into smoke and disappeared.
Wait. You're saying there are more bodies down there?
Well, there is now.
And Soren just sort of throws his hands up and leaves in a huff.
To be fair, I didn't know that guy.
Well, shit. And she starts sort of musing, clearly working through the issue aloud. And it's like, I do not want to tell the Hoffman about this. He's a great bloody fool. And he'll likely involve the witch hunters, and they'll start burning people who just looked at him crosswise.
Well, if I might make a suggestion, if you alert the witch hunters, you don't have to worry about it anymore, because they will take over the investigation.
Yes, that's the problem. They will take over the investigation. They will just burn whatever they want to burn, and we'll have no idea if actual justice is done.
Given what I just saw, I'm not sure it's not warranted.
Well, I currently do not have the authority to make the decision, so I'm going to contact my superior and Lieutenant Brate at the North Barracks, since she's the next the lieutenant, and find out about that. After you are cleaned up, you should probably continue your investigation and keep me apprised.
Were we actually investigating anything?
Yeah, you guys were trying to find Infus.
Right. Well, we wanted to know what other Rudy might have had to do with that, and we have met other Rudy, I think. Unless there's a third. God help us, what if there's multiple Rudys running around?
Why so serious?
Queen's
I
going to be
don't
like,
think we have any other clues.
Queen's going to be like, so just a question. Now that he's dead, and she points at Rudy, and she's like, he was our boss. Does that mean Yorg gets a promotion?
Well, I can't push anything like that through. Nobody said anything about taking away his temporary or his brevet corporal status. So I'll leave that for now.
Queen goes back to scrubbing her armor.
I believe, Giger, you had asked in the last session, which was like 2 weeks ago, so you've probably forgotten about where Rudy lived.
Right. So, I guess we got interrupted last time and didn't get to that part. Where does Rudy live?
She's like, yeah, let me check. And she will, nice. I just saw that new goal: get Jorgen to be in charge of the city guard before we shove off. He's like, no, I don't want to do this.
He does not want that.
That's why it's a goal. She wants it. She will retreat back into the captain's office to get the various documentation that is there, and then we'll come out with a slip of paper. And she's sort of already shaking her head, and she offers you the slip. And he's like, "This is the address we have on file," and frankly, it makes me question the captain even more because no watch sergeant should be able to afford living there.
And Jorg will accept this paper and then hold it over for somebody else.
Yes, you need to work on that if you're going to make being in the town watch a proper career there, Corporal.
I wasn't planning on it, actually.
Year and a day. So I just shared the Bogenhofen during Schaffenfest map. Does it show the R?
R. Yes.
Yep.
R.
Okay, so I have confirmed my theory. I have confirmed my theory that if I edit this thing, if I made another edit and then imported, even if I hit the assets and reloaded it and reshared it, you guys wouldn't be able to see it until I restarted Fantasy Grounds. Because
really?
I ran into that problem with the lawyer thing the last time, because I had created the map and it had the Steinhager office, the S already there. Was it the L? It's either the L or the S. I don't remember which. And then in the middle of the game, I did a quick export to and overwrote the image with the new thing. And then I jumped through the hoops where I'm like,
okay,
reload, or what is that? Refresh folder assets.
Refresh assets, but that refreshes your assets.
Yeah, and it showed it, and then I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then I reshared it, but you guys weren't seeing the new thing. But then
probably
the next session,
ours is cached.
Yeah, but then the next session, when I shared the map, you guys were seeing the new thing. But yes, so she gives the address. The address is in the Artisan Quarter, which is a little more high end than she would expect for someone who is ostensibly just a sergeant.
Maybe Rudy has a sugar mama.
She is visibly going to shudder at that notion. She might not be the only one.
Well, we can go check it out in the morning.
You're going to be on duty in the morning.
Enfys might be tied up in there.
Well, exactly. We're going to be on duty in the morning, so we can go do our duty and check it out.
No, your job is going to be at the Schaffenfest tomorrow.
I mean, I can go there by myself. You guys can go to sleep, and I'll just go check it out. Nothing bad will happen.
Do we get paid extra for doing our duty while not on duty? Just saying.
So I am also looking at Soren's disads, and it does occur to me that at least two of your disads may actually trigger. One, curious, and two, quite possibly more, based off of what he has seen firsthand about how Rudy existed. Kleptomania may actually kick in.
That's totally why he wants to go in the morning. But he doesn't want to go out in the green moon.
Well, it'll be fine. Take a parasol.
Yeah, there's nothing saying the green moon won't be there in the morning.
Also, during this, she's like, well, it'll be useful to know what's going on. So I would recommend checking that out now. However, I do need to have a few words with him, as she says as she points to Kristoff.
Well, I don't know. That's my
I
That's
think
my soldier
Kristoff
there.
was right.
Yes, this doesn't concern you, York. If you'll follow me there, trooper, or whatever, watchman, or whatever the heck the appropriate term
what
would
the hell
be.
they call it, dude.
Watchman. And she is going to turn and head towards the captain's office. Well, so that's one bright advantage. Doesn't look like she's. I sincerely doubt she's gonna stab.
I think
somebody
if she
in the
wanted to
captain's
kill me,
office.
she wouldn't be doing it this way. So he relaxes a little bit.
Okay, so he's gonna follow her.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think
Okay.
he really feels like he has much of a choice.
Yep, he's she's gonna go in there and she's gonna lean on the sort of lean seat on the desk, not actually taking the chair, and she's like, "Shut the door, please." And as soon as the door is shut, she's gonna say, you look at it and she's like, "Lad, do you realize that those who know what to look for will be able to sense whatever it is that you're tampering with? You smell of chaos."
Oh man, like whatever do you mean? Chaos?
So he's trying to prevaricate, like, what, huh? Or how
Well,
is he
yeah,
reacting?
he's not gonna be like, oh yeah, you got me. So he will play dumb.
Right. So she is going to sort of sigh heavily, and then she's going to gesture with her right hand, and you're going to hear the door and sense the door behind you locking, which is
Oh.
really interesting.
Ooh.
Because,
So
she's not a wizard. She's like, I have witch hunters crawling into every crevice of my city, looking into things and places they should not be, and I will not let an untrained boy tampering with things he does not understand bring their gaze upon me and mine. I have the means to aid you, but I need you to tell me the truth about why you stink of chaos, or regrettably you will not leave this room alive. And she's there. There's no sense like she's going for a weapon. She's just like casually telling you this.
okay. Let's see.
Everybody keeps making Kristoff spill his guts.
Everybody but York and Copper Tongue. It's perfect.
Axes are good for spilling guts.
Well, I think if York pressed him on it, he would probably talk to York.
As long as Copper Tongue wasn't around.
Probably. I'm trying to look at my skills for reading people, which I don't have any.
Yep. That is a problem, isn't it? Let's see. So one of those you can use untrained. Which one is
IQ -4.
I don't remember which one it is.
I think diplomacy is -6.
Oh no, he's like trying to read them. Let's see. Detect lies is perception -6, body language -4, or psychology -4. And body language is nope. You can't do that by default unless you have detect lies and or psychology. So at best, he can try perception -6. I don't think he has psychology.
All right. How about this? Can I just do a reaction roll with her just to see?
That's her reaction. That's how she reacts to you. She seems perfectly fine with you. You're trying to, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be completely misunderstanding, but I think you were trying to get a read on her.
Yeah, I was thinking like a reverse reaction roll. Like, how much do I like her?
I don't think I would have ever thought of that.
Right, because that's normally just a character decision, not a.
Yeah.
Does she have any like stubbornness or penalties? Social penalties? I could see her being stubborn.
Right now, she doesn't have a full character sheet. She's got several. This is, I know she can do this, but I haven't. Hold on.
I know generally you usually have a sort of picture of that in your head.
Yeah,
well, let me just
I'd actually started making an NPCs thing where I was like, personality. Let me see what I had for her.
I'm gonna roll in the box
Cynical, grim, and suspicious.
for detect lies.
Okay, I have not yet looked at that because I'm scrolled up for something else. Did you want to automatically use luck even without
No,
determine?
no, he's just trying to get a read on her. Not gonna go into the weeds on it. Just trying
All
to
right,
get his sense of
so
should he
noted.
trust her. Yep.
Keep in mind that means next session you will be able to do the IQ check to possibly be able to spend a point into detect lies.
Actually, is she using an influence skill on him to influence him?
Not currently. She was just straight up telling him that I wasn't having her use an influence role, so to speak. Let's see. So he can't really get a real grasp on that. She seems completely telling the truth as far as he can tell.
Christoph will hang his head down. He's like, let out just a big sigh. I forgot what she said. He's like, I've been trying to get rid of this ever since I found it, and no matter what I do, it always comes back to me.
Why is your
He's
arm
like,
green?
so he will give her like that resignated confession and take off his glove and show her the ring.
Okay, so she's going to observe the ring for a bit. Listen to how much is he going into what he knows or his story. I'm presuming he's not going to say, "Oh, by the way, I was the guy who assassinated the witch hunter."
No, he's not going to say all that. He's just going to be, well, this is where the chaos is coming from, and
Also, my mom was a witch who was burned, and
nope, he's not saying any of that. He just says he'll tell her about the visions that he has of being able to channel or cast spells, and he may hint at having had, he won't talk about his parents, but he'll say that he's, he'll admit to having had the talent, I guess the trait or the ability before that, and he's not trying to cause any trouble.
Okay, so she's going to study you for a little bit, and she's like, how far are you willing to go to control this power?
He'll also say that he has been trying to find somebody to make him legitimate, but just with the way the world works, he hasn't been able to find anybody without being labeled as a hedge witch and potentially burned at the stakes. So in terms of how far he's willing to go, he's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, what do you mean by that?
Simple question. How far?
Well, I don't see how you're going to be able to legitimize me. From my understanding, you have to be sanctioned to use magic. And it sounds like you're not.
Are you sure?
No. But then you wouldn't have said what you said.
Again, are you sure? You are really young.
Not that young. I'm 26, 22. I'm a man in my own right.
He's like, oh, I'm not that young. I'm 22. Oh, yeah, I am still a kid. Crap, I forgot about that. It's like,
no, he's lived. He's had it's not how many years, it's how you live them. Okay.
I have the means to see that you're taught a few things, but you will owe me a duty.
He's like, name it.
All right. Well, then, we'll have to get into that in a little bit later.
He's like, I will not betray my companions, but I will do most anything.
I'll totally murder a witch hunter for you. She's like, right. Well, let me get some things together and speak with some people. It would probably be wiser to keep this conversation between us. If Corporal Long asks about this, refer him to me. I'll deal with his curiosity. We'll definitely have to speak about this again later.
Understood.
So, congratulations there, Christoph. You potentially have a secret magic teacher, which I believe was your short-term ambition, which means you will get a point into or a character point, and we'll need to think of another one.
Sweet.
Now you know something about the sergeant that Yorg doesn't know. Dun dun
Yeah.
dun.
Is she hot? Because I am looking for a wife for my stronghold when I establish a stronghold.
Well, she's a little bit older than you are. I think what is about 40 or so. So that might be a little too much, too long in the human tooth, so to speak. Okay, so Soren, you also may want to probably let Bowman know about one of his guys being dead.
Maybe.
Okay, I'll do that later then.
What time of night is it?
It is currently about 9:30.
So they're still selling drinks across the road? Or are they closed because the moon's out?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they're probably not going to have as many people, but the people that they do have are probably like, hey, I'm going to stay
not going out
here until here's a gold piece. Just keep sending me more beer. Also, can you close the curtains?
If we have to go out again, then Soren will duck in there quickly and just pass on the message.
Well, it is luckily on the way.
Well, if you're going in the bar, you better bring me back out an ale.
What are you talking about? He's like, hey, I need to go in here, and it's like, before I know it, it's 11 o'clock, and you guys haven't budged from the bar for a couple hours.
I like that idea better than walking
I
around
need investigator beer.
under the moon. Well, Soren says, I'm just going to duck in here. I need to wash the taste of that sewer out of my mouth.
That might be a good idea for everybody. Needless to say, Franz is enraged at hearing this, and he absolutely wants to, or demands that you keep him updated about this, whatever it is that's wearing this meat suit, because once the entity is responsible is identified, he kind of wants it dead. It, he, they, whatever.
Well, Soren will just nod and he'll down the drink and excuse himself and then catch up with the rest of the group.
Who are probably in the bar.
If they are in the bar, he won't be, he won't encourage leaving. So if people want to stay in the bar longer, he's totally cool with that.
Nope. I'm getting one to go.
The lack of activity on the streets is rather noticeable. You guys have had night shift several times, and you've moved around when done actual patrolling. Late in the night, and there's usually at least some activity, like guys staggering from a tavern towards home, or some merchants arriving really, really late, or just people walking around that may have nefarious objectives in mind and choose not to do naughty things when they see guards, or maybe they opt to do it instead. Doesn't matter. So it's definitely noticeable with that weird looking frickin' moon hanging up there, bathing everything in that eerie green light. By the time you get to the address in the Artisans Quarter, it's probably about 10:30 or so. So it's definitely dark at this point. You've also got the usual fog rolling in off of the River Bogan, which is starting to appear in the streets.
Reflecting the green moonlight, no doubt.
Which just makes it even creepier. Yeah, when you're reflecting that, it's like everybody's like, nope, don't want to do this. You will reach the address, and it appears to actually be something of like, a 2-story townhouse, which is like, yeah, no sergeant in the watch should be able to afford something like this. The doors are locked.
If we've passed by whoever's on patrol in this area, we'll have notified them that we were here and on business. But otherwise, we will not.
The people in patrol are like, I'm going to find someplace indoors, and I'm going to stay indoors.
Well, I don't necessarily expect to see anyone out here, but if they are, or if I know where they are,
Is
Right.
this
At any rate, I'm not gonna
a
go
single
chasing
story
them.
or multi-story place?
It's definitely a 2-story building.
Are there any sort of open windows upstairs?
I don't know. Give me a universe reaction roll to see. Wow, good reaction. You are. Let me look at the map there. You will be able to probably identify. It's like, yeah, that window up there does not look like it's entirely secured properly.
Well, Søren will turn to Jorg and say, I think I can get in through that window there. I'll climb up and I'll let you guys in.
Okay. I won't ask how you know how to do that sort of thing, but
Yeah,
carry on.
last we're gonna see of Soren, because he's gonna get ripped apart by the monsters inside.
Probably true. We will mourn his passing with some more beer.
So Søren will look for some places he can get some footholds and attempt to climb, failing his climb by 1.
Right, I was making a note of something, and I wanted to check that to see climbing. Where's climbing? Because there may be some bonuses
Right.
that are involved.
I was going to say he's just
349.
he's just trying to demonstrate incompetence so we don't get the wrong idea or the right idea.
Well, climbing's not exactly a suspicious skill. If he picked the lock, then that would be a different thing.
Let us see here. To climb anything more difficult than a ladder, roll against climbing. Defaults to da-da-da-da-da. Okay, subtract encumbrance. I don't think you have any encumbrance. Wow, I thought there was going to be something more. Let's see. Vertical stone wall, no. Modern building, -3. Wow. Yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. Modern buildings are just super straight. Okay, so make one roll to start the climb. Any failure means you fall. Page 431. How far did he fall? Did he fall from the top and then die?
Unless there's a case for Daredevil, because it's not necessary for him to climb in. He could just pick the lock or force the front door.
Okay, so what is Daredevil-y about his climb in this case?
Unnecessarily risky.
Like, he scrambles up one part and he decides, you know what, I could inch my way over to the window, but I'm going to do a quick hop jump thing.
And let me just read Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil means you take unnecessary risk. So not the climb itself, but doing it with just your hands might be Daredevil.
Right. In this case, Daredevil probably wouldn't come into it then.
So
But you can take extra time.
Ah!
Yeah, I don't think they say that you fall if you fail, but they don't say at what point in the climb you fall. Because if you get 1 foot and then you fall, it's no big deal.
It's what, 3 yards to the second story? 4 yards?
Something like that.
Roll a d4.
Sure. Oh, you started going up a thing and you grabbed a hold of like the address sign that's like right outside the door, and it broke off and you landed lightly on your butt. So you looked dumb, but you didn't take any damage.
All right.
But you did look kind of dumb.
Do that. You know, there's a perfectly sturdy dwarf ladder over there.
Søren will say, yeah, it looked solid when I grabbed it. But anyway, he'll start again. Trying to fail.
You are trying to fail. So you scramble up the side of the building, and you find the window is in fact not entirely secured. When you pull it open, it looks like a bedroom that had, a small bedroom that had 2 beds in it. Neither of them are occupied. It also has like a sort of like small desk, and there's definitely a cabinet, but otherwise you're fine. So I am going to actually, this is technically, I guess it would be classified as a tactical map, but I am not planning on anything crazy happening because I want to see if anyone else can identify the stairs to go from first level to second level. So this, oh my God, don't do that. This is the room that Soren entered on the second floor. The big question is, how do you get down or get up from the first floor, from the ground floor, to the second floor? And the only thing I have been able to find are those stairs back there, but there are no stairs upstairs. It looks like you
think the
legitimately have to go
stairs.
outside. You have to go outside and go up the stairs.
I think the stairs are outside stairs because there's a door there.
Yeah, I think those go down. Yeah, because that's that. So this one goes to the cellar. Yeah, it would have to be outside because there's that door.
Yeah, and I'm like sitting there when I found that, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I really like this image. And then I'm like, why would you want to have stairs that go outside in the Empire? What happens during winter? That sucks. So yeah, it's gonna probably take Soren more than a couple of minutes to figure out how the hell you get in and out of here.
So does Soren have a lantern?
Even if he does not, there are going to be plenty of lanterns in the various rooms here. They just won't necessarily be on or lit.
All right, so Soren does not have a lantern. That seems weird. I thought he did.
He will totally
we had lanterns at
conveniently
one
find
point.
at least a candle on that desk in the first room.
All right, so he'll light the candle, and he'll immediately be looking around the place for stuff to loot.
Based off of what he's looking at in this room, he probably has his doubts that this room is particularly important. It may be like a servant's room.
Okay, well, he's not gonna be, turning over the places. If there's like a set of drawers, he might quickly have a look through the drawers, but he's not gonna rifle through stuff.
Not this. Well, yeah, there are drawers. Yeah,
Yeah,
they just have like clothes or stuff. Frilly clothes. So
but he will
probably not Rudy's clothes unless Rudy was hiding another secret.
His name was Ruby.
Maybe.
No, his name is Victoria.
Yep.
So yeah, he'll just on his way to going and unlocking the door, wherever that door might be. He's going to look for stuff that he can loot. Rudy doesn't need it anymore.
I will make a quick note. So next time you will probably want to double check your. One of these days, what?
One of these days, we're going to have some kind of random loot table.
And then he will make his way to the door and unlock it for everyone.
All right. And everyone will come in. Kristoff, as soon as you pass over the threshold to the door, you feel like a cold shiver goes up your spine or something, and you realize that was probably magical awareness. So something magic happened.
Something magical happened.
Yep, you just don't know what it is. I mean, it's probably logical for him to presume that there was some sort of magical alarm or something like that.
He'll say that anyways because that actually fits very well with this quirk, which I haven't really been playing too well.
Which quirk?
He enjoys looking for and pointing out security problems in buildings.
Okay.
So he's like, you know what? There's probably going to be an alarm here. There's probably some kind of trap. He's like, oh my God, did you feel that? He's like, we just set off an alarm. I just felt it. Yeah.
Don't get all jittery, kid.
Right. Okay.
we're gonna
So,
die.
as you can see from the map, this place has obviously seen better days. It looks like it's probably more run down due to general neglect. Like he doesn't really care much about it. But otherwise, this is still this particular place is well beyond what a sergeant should be able to afford.
Which doesn't surprise any of us because we've all seen him taking bribes.
Have you? I don't know if Copper Tongue has.
Probably not.
I mean, she may suspect that's the case. Okay, so what is the plan now?
We need to look for clues. God help us.
Right. Okay, so you will spend some time poking around, and when you eventually sort of do I guess we kind of need to check the cellar too, because that would be
because we were thinking Memphis might be tied
and
up
hoping
here, so
that
cellar's
Memphis was tied up.
logical.
Yep. When you enter the cellar, there is someone who is down here, but it is not Memphis. However, several of you will recognize her. She is a thief that you chased down in the streets on your first day, and she is actually chained to the wall.
Yeah,
and will react with quite a bit of surprise, and it's like, oh, what? No, kind of thing when you sort of enter. And also over at the north side there is a table, and on the table and also on the wall itself is a whole lot of various little sketches and drawings and stuff like that, mostly of maps and of places in the town and such like that.
Who was it that had that long side conversation with her when we caught her?
Soren, because Soren caught up to her before everybody else did. He's like, no, or wait, guards. Oh God, you're with him, aren't you?
Who's him?
By him? Do you mean Rudy?
Of course I do.
Which Rudy?
What?
Is it lazy ass bribe taking Rudy, or is it evil demon eyes smoke monster Rudy?
Now she's gonna start looking at Jorg like she's wondering if he's drunk, but she will consider it, and she's like, well,
he hides.
That I can't say about demon eyes or smoke monsters, but yeah, a couple of days ago, something about him did sort of change. I mean, he was a piece of crap before, but he wasn't really callous or outright cruel. And his eyes have been a little different, but I wouldn't say demon different. Wait, are you saying he's a demon? Then you need to let me go. I got to get out of here.
What do I know? Well, yeah, there's no good reason for you to be chained up in his basement, regardless.
No, there really isn't.
So yeah, I'll release her unless somebody else beats me to it. But we will. When was I'm trying to think? Have you seen? You remember the other guy that was with us before? The red-haired guy made inappropriate jokes. You haven't seen him here at all?
No, I've the only wizardly type I've seen hanging out with Rudy is that blonde lady with the weird mismatched eyes.
I don't think that's familiar to Jorg. I know Kristoff went off after and ran into her.
So Soren was with him as well.
He told you about her. You just didn't believe him.
So you talked about the weird eyes and all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Connection created. All right. What's up with the drawings?
I'm not sure. I totally don't. I wouldn't know there, Mr. Watchman, sir. I'm just a poor innocent victim in all of this.
Okay, that tells me what I need to know. Never mind. Actually, what were you casing?
Me? No. I'm the innocent victim here.
What was he making you case?
Oh, that would be the Adel ring. He wanted to know some stuff about several of the houses there.
Which houses would those be, by the way? look-
Okay, so you
I'll
can
look over the maps, but I don't know if I can make a whole lot of sense out of it.
Soren 100% can. He absolutely 100% recognizes, yeah, this dude was officially casing several of these houses based off of some of the notes, or mansions or estates or whatnot, with an eye towards breaking in and stealing a bunch of stuff. There are several of the locations are straight up X'd out, including the old Kleinwald Manor, which 3 of you actually went to. It's now the Blitzen Manor. And also Hagenhaus is X'd out. But he seems to have been focusing on the Tugen household grounds. However, the Steinhager estate and several of the larger townhouses are also circled with, codes or question marks or stuff like that. You will also observe that either Rudy was a very good artist or he had someone who was a really good artist, because there are a number of sketches of people all over the place. Let's see. So one of the things that immediately leaps out to Christoph is there is a picture or like a sketched picture of, obviously it's not in color like these images are, but there's a one picture that has 2 different people on it. He will recognize Sybil, Sybil, who did some voodoo on his brain, and he will also recognize the lady that both he and Soren observed. The difference in this case is, I gotta see if I can get this to cooperate correctly. So the mismatched eye lady is identified as Atelka, although there's also an equal sign between there and some scribbling in what kind of looks like a personal code or something like that. There is also an image of the guy that the 3 of you who visited the Blitzen Manor met at the gate. Although he doesn't have a name identified, he's just, it's right there. Notably, also there are a number of pictures of locals, or not necessarily locals, but people who are very clearly wearing the signs, the heraldry of various members of the merchant house. All of them seem to be, he's whatever it was he was doing, he seems to have noticed these people a lot, and all of these people seem to have like this really creepy smile, a smile you guys may have recently seen on him.
Nope. Just no.
Damn Klumpenganger gets around.
And something else that absolutely springs to mind, you'll have to ignore some of the stuffs because, well, it's not entirely on it, but there legitimately looks like a copy of a proper sewer map for the main lines and such like that. This looks like it has probably been copied from like, official records or something like that. And
we sure could have used that the other day.
Yeah, I know. So just so you are aware, A is absolutely where the goblin snuck in.
Which would therefore also be where the smoke monster snuck out?
That would be correct, yes. Soren is going to know that. I think. Let me double check. I have to find my old notes. Scroll. B is the entry manhole that you guys actually entered through. D is actually which Soren will know is the door to the crossed pikes, whereas C is the hidden temple that you guys ran into. You can ignore E because it never happened. That was one of those where it's like, oh crap, I forgot to remove that from my map.
Oh, didn't notice it because it wasn't red.
Yeah, because it was one of those. It's like, oh yeah, I may need this, and then it's like, wait, no, I didn't need this.
Okay. While we're looking at the drawings and maps and such, York was going to ask of what's her name, who else is living here? And second question would be who did the drawings, and sort of follow up to that. What other accomplices might not Rudy have had or be working with?
Oh, I'm certain I wouldn't know the answer to any of those questions, sir. I'm just a poor innocent victim.
Well, as it happens...
Those are pretty awesome images, though, aren't they? I mean, whoever's responsible would have to be a fantastic artist.
Right, okay. Fair enough. What about... who else lives here?
Nobody, really.
Did he live here by himself? There's a servant's quarters up there.
I really couldn't say. I am not here willingly. Honest.
Well, I assume you didn't volunteer to be put in chains. Although, some guys... I don't judge.
Well, I do. He was a jackass.
Detect lies defaults to body language minus something, right?
Yes. It will default to perception -6, body language -4, or psychology -4.
I wonder if I should start picking up criminology.
You're going to have to get some medieval sunglasses, so you make sure to do the thing.
I'm going to have a book of puns just standing by.
And you just imagine the glorious groans you will hear from Mel when you break them out.
Oh, it's all going to be in character. Copper Tongue also will hate puns.
Right. So you were making a check against what exactly, Soren?
To see if she's full of shit in what she's saying, that she's an innocent victim and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, she's absolutely not an innocent victim. He knows that. She 100% believes that the dude was a piece of shit. And when, good roll, by the way. When Jorg made the comment, it was like, "Well, what were you hired to do?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm just a poor innocent victim here." It's like, yeah, he was clearly, using her for something. So it does seem pretty logical to presume, like maybe he was assembling a team or something.
Okay. Was there any indication on the clue board about what exactly it was that he was after? Seeing as there was planned thieving, according to our conclusions.
I gotta look at a skill. I don't think anybody has it.
Also, did the map of Steinhager's office include the downstairs?
It wasn't the office. It was his estate.
Oh, never mind.
I can't remember what the name of this skill is. Sorry, I'm looking something up. Does anyone have intelligence analysis?
I'm
gonna say probably not.
Nope.
So anyone who wants to sort of sit there and study the stuff and maybe
IQ -5.
try to IQ -6 or strategy any -6. It is a secret roll, but anyone is able to throw it into the skull if they so desire.
Well, here goes my effective 5.
You never know.
'Cause you never know.
Okay. I had to share it. I had to. You're on a freaking 4, dude. That's awesome. Keep in mind, this does mean next session you can use or make an IQ check to potentially
right.
learn it. Same with Soren on Detect Lies. I think it is. So you're sitting there, you're looking at these stuff, and you were initially sort of trying to figure things out by thinking like a thief, but then it does occur to Jorg that no matter how kind of crappy he was, Rudy was technically a soldier. So you started thinking of it, thinking of that of it in that way, and it sort
Of course,
does.
everybody's going to know this process because every time I run across a word, it's what does that say?
Oh yeah, that's true. So as you're sort of looking at it, it looks like he was sort of maybe like recruiting some people based off of so like some of the little code symbols will be familiar to Jorg from like a soldiery kind of thing for maps and such like that. It does look like he was recruiting, but with the older ones, it was like he was like going to make a run at either Tugan or Steinhager. But with the newer images, it seems like that is more of where it's like he took a step back and started approaching those from a purely military perspective, as if he discovered something or hit a serious wall and said, whoa, what's going on here?
So it looked like he's planning a raid or something.
Yeah, it looks like he was probably planning a raid, but something changed. And then he started focusing more on as if this was an actual combat maneuver, not necessarily a raid maneuver. Alette will kind of note that you are in the process of sort of figuring some of this out. That does lead me to brief pause. Soren, you're aware that she's kind of full of crap. Was Soren planning on applying any pressure in that regard? Is he like going to talk to her quietly while Jorg is having Copper Tongue and Kristoff show him what words mean, or is he just going to go, I think she's full of crap, and let it go?
No, he will be fairly blunt, and he'll say, every word out of your mouth is a falsehood.
Not every word. I mean,
that was technically true.
Maybe 70%.
Well, I think you need to come clean, otherwise I'm sure bad things might happen to you.
She's absolutely going to rattle the chain. It's like, yeah, like I might end up chained up in a basement somewhere.
You could end up worse.
You could stay chained up in a basement.
I would really like to not. So I'm totally willing to make a deal. Please?
Rudy was all about deals.
Yeah, but Rudy is a piece of crap. Does anybody have any appropriate social engineering skills they would like to apply to, the young? Don't call her a thief. She doesn't want to be called a thief. She wants to be called a rogue.
I don't think we've actually seen her steal anything, have we?
Yeah, you chased her in the. Well, you didn't actually see her. You heard somebody saying that she was responsible for it.
Right now, she's just an alleged thief.
Right, that's true. Yes. So, as part of my civic duty, I absolutely overheard him assembling a team of ne'er-do-wells and second-story people. They were planning on hitting either the Stugan Mansion, or not Stugan, the Steinhager Mansion or the Tugan Estate. And then one day, several of those ne'er-do-wells and second storymen just started dying mysteriously. At that point, Rudy may or may not have enlisted an expert rogue. to poke around. I did see him talking to the lady with the mismatched eyes, and she kept asking about your redheaded friend. But he stopped trying to steal stuff and started wanting to focus on something else that he wouldn't tell me about. And then one day he came back and he was completely different. And he smacked me in the head, and I woke up tied up in this bloody cellar.
Okay. Were we able to identify the most likely next target
He was next target of
Rudy?
He
Of
was
his.
focused mostly on Steinhager or Tugin.
Right, but there's not one of those stands out as the next.
He was still in the process of determining which one. He was leaning more towards Tugin because it was, only there's only Johannes Tugin and his various people. He didn't have as many bodies in the mansion, but well, that's not going to work now. Not with the bloody witch hunters having taken over that place.
Was Teugen not the one that died?
He was the one that you saw die.
And when was that? How long ago?
That
It wasn't yesterday, was
it? Okay, no. So brief correction. She is not going to have mentioned the bloody witch hunters taking over because that happened today.
Right. Oh, that was the raid was
That was
today?
earlier. That was earlier today because you guys saw that, and then as you were heading back, you grabbed Copper.
Right. That's
So
right.
so she is going to say that he was likely more focused on the Tugin mansion than Steinhager because there weren't as many people there. Just Johann Tugin and his housekeeper and the grounds person and a couple of the guards and his weird-looking nephew.
I guess that particular plan got interrupted.
Yeah, probably. Wait, are we talking about the same thing? I don't know. He just started acting differently a couple days ago.
I was debating whether or not it was useful to alert her to the fact that raid had occurred, and I'm considering whether or not it would end up being a security breach.
Could I get something to drink? I'm really thirsty.
He's gonna pour out a flask of ale into this mug and then start drinking it and forget for a second. Oh, did you want some?
Yes, please.
Okay. There were 2 targets, and one of them was Teugen, which one was the other one? That was Steinhager?
Steinhager, yeah.
So,
which you guys have had a frontline image of seeing that.
Was that the
not the mansion, but you definitely are aware of the office was hit, and then everybody's been talking about what happened to the old guy, the guy that was actually in charge of it, and it's like I don't know, he disappeared.
And how long ago was that? That wasn't that long ago either.
Raid?
That was like 2 days ago.
Let me double check. I believe that was 2 days ago.
Because that's when we went after the goblin.
Yep, that was 2 days ago. That was the first day of the Schaffenfest. Today is the second day.
Which
it's
means
been a busy couple days.
Witch hunters hit both of them.
Yep, they've gone and messed up the whole plot, whatever the plot was.
Yeah, I think Jurgen let slip that. Well, I guess the witch hunters are probably complicating his plans, whatever they were.
Right.
They're all over him.
I need to look and see when the hell did the witch hunters all arrive in force, because she may not know that. And no, no, that is okay. So looks like the witch hunters arrived. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 days ago. Okay, so she's gonna have probably been at least aware of them arriving. Oh, the witch hunters are still in town. Damn.
No, thanks to that bastard who assassinated what's his name. I think we're going to be saddled with these guys for a while, at least until we get justice or whatever serves for it anyway. Okay, so talking this through so we can move on. It looks like whatever Rudy might have had planned, or not Rudy, has probably been upended, given that the witch hunters have hit both places that he was casing, although maybe not the manor of Steinhager. Suppose that would be the next thing to check, would be to see if anything's happened over there.
Oh, I think you can probably presume that there's 100% chance that they have moved against that mansion, because they seized his office. They arrested his brother and all of his people.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he had narrowly escaped. And you guys will have, I think you would have learned that he bolted out of the office just a little bit before the witch hunters came up, and it was logical to presume he heard when the priest started beating the false door down. He went nope.
Uh-huh.
And didn't tell nobody.
True. I just had a very evil thought.
At the same time, he might not be getting very far, because he was kind of large.
Well, that's true. Now, so what if not Rudy still needed Alette for his plans, and we decided to take her into protective custody? He might have to come break her out.
Great. It's going to be like, a siege at the barracks.
Well, just thinking using Alette as bait effectively.
I hope you can keep her around as bait. Sure, she won't squirm out of her, wherever it is and run away and leave Soren to deal with it. Dress Soren up like her.
I don't know that necessarily helps this much. So, we're not going to find Enfys here. We don't have any clues in here related to Enfys. No. So all these drawings are for targets. That's not going to include anything like any other HQs he might have around here. And I don't know if that'd even be relevant, because not Rudy is not Rudy.
You're going to get back to the barracks and everybody's going to be dead. Rudy's going to be sitting there going, I live again.
Anybody else got any ideas at this point?
The not Rudy ripped off a dude's head, exploded it and stuff. We could just not get involved.
But Enfys, we got to save him. He is most definitely in trouble.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I'm going to totally briefly jump to a scene of Enfys somewhere in somebody's cellar, chained up in the same way, going, help, help. I was like, nah, he's fine.
It's actually in the next cellar over.
Did anybody hear me? I hear you.
Okay. We have pictures of other people who have been doppelgangered, for lack of a better term. So we could at least start looking into them, I guess. That's probably the only other thing I can think of at the moment.
Yep, possibly. And you've also got pictures of the chick who did the mind whammy on Kristoff, which only Kristoff is going to be immediately recognized, but she is on the same sheet as the mismatched eyes lady,
right?
With the strong implication that they are related or the same person, but it's not clear which.
Well, if I have an opportunity, I will be like, George Sorensen, that's her. Like, I'd be like, that's the one I was telling you about. Like, he would have pointed that out.
Has he told Jorg?
What does that symbol mean right there?
Has he told Jorg? I thought he just told Soren.
I can't remember if he told it. I think he said something about chasing after her and running into someone else or something like that.
Yeah. Definitely Soren, because he was with me. But I think I thought when we went back, or when we regrouped, you were like, "What the hell were you doing?" or whatever. Why'd you run off?
Yeah,
you may be right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about that.
That's another data point. It was like, what is going on? Super weird.
Yeah. So that one doesn't have the evil demon smile, or does it? But the other one. So if those are people that can be identified, if Not Rudy has been shacking up here in actual Rudy's old place, then he might also be shacking up in some of those other places. And that might be the best we can do as far as possible other places Enfys might be hidden. So that's going to be my recommendation. Do we actually recognize these people enough to know where they might be?
I think we should just wait here until Not Rudy comes back.
What if he doesn't?
Well, then we're staking out for nothing, but he doesn't know that we're here. I'm sure he is going to come back at some point.
Would you?
Well, if I thought I got away with covering all the evidence and stuff, then maybe.
Point of order here. Kristoff identified what is probably a magical alarm that triggered when at least he entered. And point number 2 is you have seen Not Rudy actually do spellcasting. So it is entirely possible he does know you're here.
Yeah, but Kristoff always says stuff like that.
That is also true.
Yes. But I've been right at least half the time.
Nice. Okay, so is that the plan? Are you going to wait overnight, or are you recovering or heading back to the barracks to report, or what?
Well, Elsa basically told us to go investigate, so we're investigating. If we don't need to go report back unless we got something to report. And we don't exactly yet. I mean, we've got a bunch of paperwork. We probably do need to bundle that up and hand it over, but that's a separate issue. Yeah, I'm all for going out there and trying to actively track these other people down, but I am, as a fellow PC, willing to listen to others' plans. So whatever you guys want to agree to here, if we want to wait it out here and see if he comes back, we can do that. Although I'm not super thrilled about the idea of being, cornered in this guy's house.
The other thing is, we are supposed to be on duty tomorrow. It's getting late.
Yeah, I don't think we're actually going to end up being on duty tomorrow. It's been a full couple of days.
You might be surprised. It might be worse.
It could be.
Okay, so what is the actual decision point then? We heading back to the barracks, or are we hanging here?
Three choices: back to the barracks, stay here and wait, or go look for these other doppelganger people.
Well, you probably wouldn't want to look. I'd say 2 choices, because you're not going to want to look at the doppelganger people at night. You're not going to. Nobody's going to be answering the doors.
Enfys could be up to his neck in something unpleasant.
True, but you don't. Who are these people?
We have no idea. I have no idea.
Why, they don't even have images right now.
Some of them were recognizable, I thought. I don't know if the people who recognized them have identified them yet. Actually, did I not meet Enfys' brother at the wizard's house?
You have no idea who you met.
I realized that I don't know that he was Enfys' brother.
The player absolutely met Enfys' brother at the wizard's house.
Yeah, okay. So,
or the character did, but the character had no idea who he was. The guy never identified himself.
Right, but would I recognize him from the image?
You would, yes.
Okay. And was he one of the crazy smile doppelganger people?
He was not.
Then he is not on the list. He's on the other list of suspects.
Yeah. It's like, it is kind of interesting that there's even an image of him at all.
Yeah, that's a whole other matter. Actually, side note, York will ask, ask Alette, if you were around to talk to the artist, whoever that was, is that the guy that's over there at the wizard's house?
Now I got to figure out what she would say to that. Well, there's several people at the wizard's house. There's the wizard, and there's his apprentice, and I don't think this guy is his apprentice.
I saw that guy.
He's been hanging out with the lady with the mismatched eyes.
Well, we went earlier to check at the wizard's house to see if Enfys might have been there, and that guy answered the gate.
Huh.
That surprises you?
No, I was making a grunt of acknowledgement. I don't know who this guy is. He just hanged out with creepy-eyed lady and did stuff in town.
Apparently, I don't either.
Yep. Can I get from Copper Tongue an IQ check, please?
Yep.
No, I don't want to make any checks.
Her dice are just waiting
All
waiting
right.
for their moment.
Success by 3. Copper Tongue will vaguely recognize the guy that they're talking about as having come into the shop. I think it was actually today. It's either today or the last time she was in the shop. No, I think it was today. I mean, she didn't really pay attention. She knows he paid some money for something and left with it, but he did look like that.
Okay. So she'll mention that in passing. That sounds like the guy that came in the shop and paid for something today. I don't know who he was. Does she remember what he paid for?
It was some
player
a
does
bunch
not.
Yeah, and you explicitly had her not really pay a lot of attention to it because I think of stayed. Is that right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was something large or a bunch of things because they had to cart it out, but she doesn't quite recall what the specifics were because you were in the zone at the time.
Yep, she was busy.
Well, that's a smith though, so it's probably
it was
raw
a
materials or worked materials.
Technically, that guy's a jeweler.
Well,
or he's a silversmith / jeweler. Hence the reason he even has a forge. Right. So, decision.
Stay here, go back. Apparently, we don't recognize enough of these people to actually go after them.
Right. So, do you want me to do a vote thing? How would you determine that? Check is one thing, X is another, or you can do it.
Well, Soren's totally good for going back.
That would be funny if it's like 2-2.
Yeah, Copper Tongue is fine with going
Unfortunately, we have an even number.
Mine is an evil laugh.
Tough choice.
Well, then the leader makes the final call.
Well, there's leader and there's PCs, so first we have to deal with the PC's wishes. Okay. Looks like we're going back, I guess. Everybody's like, no, we've had enough. We gotta get up in the morning. God damn it.
Pretty much.
Well, it has been a very, very long day. Okay, so
Miss Alette, you are not under arrest. However, I think we may need to take you into protective custody for your own safety.
Oh, joy.
But we'll bring you beer.
Step outside the townhouse, and it has definitely gotten a bit later. I have to see, so it's probably like 11 now. So it is full night, full dark, creepy moons hanging over there. You've got at least knee-high fog rolling in. And as soon as you exit the building, you realize there are a number of dudes who are like loitering relatively outside the door area. I mean, not immediately right outside the door area, but within visual. Right?
Do we recognize them as
sharing
watchmen?
a map does not necessarily need to end in a fight, but it may end in a fight.
Purely for demonstration purposes.
Purely. There are quite a number of them. They seem to be dressed in rough clothing, carrying clubs, like chair legs, various other almost makeshift weapons. I need a perception -2 or an observation -1 check from everyone, please.
Calculating. Yeah. -2 got me.
Critical success.
Who are you?
I know, right?
Right, so we got a fail by 2, a critical success, a success by 3 for Soren, and a success by 1 for Kristoff. So everybody but Jorg is going to immediately recognize that all of these dudes are wearing like some cheap-looking metal pendants of some sort. Copper Tongue, when you glance at these guys, the thing that springs to mind to you is they have this empty look in their eyes, like they're not entirely awake or fully aware of what's going on, and they all sort of point with their weapons, almost like kind of sort of at the same time, and basically as they speak, it's really, really creepy. In fact, I may end up invoking a fright check for the creepiness of it. But it's like, one of them will start speaking, and another one, like behind you, will pick up without losing a stride, and it just like circles around through all of them. And they basically state, you need to stay out of this. Leave or die.
Yeah, we're totally leaving.
Yeah, we're just going to go now. That's all right. By the way, you can't be out on the streets without a lantern. It's after curfew.
You should arrest them. I think you can arrest them.
We'll let it slide this time.
I don't know. It's going to probably determine on whether we've got any hot-tempered, bad-tempered people who decide, you know what, screw this. You don't tell me what to do. Charge.
Queen's just weirded out.
Yeah, cycling back to that, I think I am going to have everybody make a fright check for that, because it's a combination of the moon and the creepy fog that's sort of at your, at your knees that is now kind of green. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
And the monotone way the voice, cycles around everybody. Okay, we've got Soren fail by 4, Copper Tongue crit fail by 3. Oh, Kristoff and Jorg both success. Jorg is like, yeah, okay, right.
Okay, so I do is it +3 or -3 on the fright check table?
Plus.
Okay.
And if it doesn't really make any sense, we can possibly. Oh, damn, Soren faint. Oh man. Okay, right. So Soren, faint for 1d minutes, then roll versus health each minute to recover. Also roll versus health immediately. On a failed roll, take 1 hit point of injury as you collapse. So he's fainted for 2 minutes. Make your follow-up health check. Come on, fail that. Boo. And Copper Tongue has a mental stun equal to 3. So that's 3 rounds.
2 things. 1.
Yep.
As soon as we exit and we see these guys out here, Jorg is going to sort of ask back at Alette, do you know these guys?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, thank you for A, thank you for reminding me of that. And B, Soren just fainted. Come on, fail. Damn. I was hoping for her to fail for that, because that would have been funny, but she succeeded by 4. Even with a crappy will of 11.
Yeah, it wasn't that scary.
Then you look over there and Soren's, crumpled in a heap.
Come on, it wasn't that scary.
Apparently it was.
You look at Copper Tongue and she's got like a flashing circle, like a loading icon over her forehead.
So Jorg can probably heft Soren up. Kristoff can probably, shake Copper Tongue and or just sort of like grab her by the arm and start leading. So, I'm not sure if you want to punch her or smack her, because she might retaliate with an axe blow.
You cover off the axe with one hand and slap her with the other one.
Okay, so you guys are basically going.
We're just going to go that way, if you don't mind.
It's equally creepy how these guys just sort of don't really move, and they just sort of stare at you as you are heading toward the exit or toward the main street or whatever.
Away.
I wonder if Alette can make a break for it in the midst of this. Is she stupid enough to do that?
Well, when Soren wakes, he'll go, did we win? I don't know what
Depends on
happened.
how you look at it.
Yeah, I don't think she's stupid enough to run away while those creepy weirdos were out there. In fact, she's probably a little creeped out even more.
Yeah, protective custody. That's a good idea.
So weird. So weird. So weird. There will be no more interruptions by the time, or before you get to. That's not before. It's not the right word. There will be no more interruptions as you make your way back to the barracks.
Just to establish it before we get any farther, we will have collected all the papers.
Yep. You did mention grabbing all that stuff. Okay.
Sergeant Überraschung. We have made investigative progress.
Okay. And you apparently have brought back a new friend.
She's an advisor for the moment.
I'm a poor innocent victim.
Material witness. And there are some very creepy goings on out there. Not just moon stuff. Something is most definitely afoot.
Yep. Okay. You'll need to
Anyway, we'll spell
explain
it.
further.
We'll give her the basic rundown. And
She's absolutely, pinching the bridge of her nose and rubbing her temple is the headache that all this stuff is inevitably causing is just getting worse and worse. Like, well, damn it.
This pile is the potential doppelganger pile, and that pile is the unidentified pile, and that pile is the possible thief situation, which I guess is no longer relevant because those places have already been raided.
Well, this just keeps getting better and better.
Well, hey, the other two houses haven't been hit.
Then you describe the creepiness, and that's just, it's like,
So, Copper didn't. Did Copper get close enough to see any of those pendants?
Let's see. It's actually
enough to potentially say.
No, she was the one that noticed there was something weird about their eyes. Let's see here. It was not just her who saw the pendants. It was, I think you were the one that failed that perception. Copper got the crit success. Soren got the success. Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, and Kristoff got the success. Soren could have actually made an IQ check, which I had forgotten to mention because I got distracted. So, Soren, make an IQ check, please. Success by 1. He will have recognized the metal pendants. They had a rope and pulley emblem. He's going to have recognized them as being part of the local stevedores guild.
Oh, then that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, however, those don't normally, those guys don't normally run around and talk like those poor fellows did, or have the weird look in their eyes like Copper saw.
Where do the stevedores quarter their head?
You would ask me that. I don't know. Let me see here. Let's see. Do I have that listed on here? Number 11 on the map. So that is, let me fix this and go here. And it looks like that is over here near the, logically, by the dock.
As one might expect.
Yep. So she is going to, the sergeant's going to say, well, there's not a lot we're going to be able to accomplish at night. We'll have to figure out our next steps in the morning. And it is probably going to be a long day. So you should get some rest.
Get some nightcap and then get some rest.
I suppose.
If we can even sleep.
Yep. So
after the shit we've had to deal with today.
It is a little creepy. It was a little creepy. So unless there's anything else that is going on for you guys, if you want to do something specific or just want to end up going to bed,
crash.
Fast forward to the rooster crowing and the sun starting to come up in the morning. You probably got like a little less or a bit less sleep than you would have liked, but that's fine.
Okay, I think Copper is still down some hit points. So, can I make a Health roll?
What were we doing? I think we were doing -3, and that's going to be appropriate for everybody who is injured.
It's a health roll.
Yeah, -3, because you actually were doing something.
Nope.
You'll be
You
fine
had
one
open
day.
wounds in that sewer?
Oh yeah.
No, her wounds. I'm trying to remember where her wounds came from.
They're a couple
can't
of days
remember.
old at this point.
Doesn't matter.
So what's the situation with the moon?
Oh, when you get up in the morning, the moon's gone. It might come back tomorrow
Is it?
or tonight. Yeah, it's gone in the morning. For
Yeah.
now,
I was just trying to think what's the opposite of a nightcap.
as you are, starting to get mobile and such like that, you will note that there are a lot of people in the barracks today. And you will learn that anybody who is not on shift has been summoned back because the captain is having some sort of irritating ceremony or something.
Assembly time.
Yep. Everybody's like, yay.
Okay. I need a stick to shove up the back of my shirt so I can sleep while I'm standing up.
Around 9 o'clock or so, when some of you would have been going on shift. So whoever's on shift right now is probably kind of irritated that they haven't been relieved. But around 9 o'clock, the captain will ride in, and he is accompanied by a young man who looks just enough like him that you suspect he's probably kin of some sort. And to the assembled personnel, Hauptmann Reiner is going to introduce everyone to your new lieutenant, Wendell Gorman, who will be taking over the day-to-day operations of the main barracks, which will properly allow the sergeants to do what they do best, and that's manage the personnel. And he is very clearly not looking at Sergeant Überraschung, who, you guys do sort of remember her kind of like taking over the various assemblies whenever the captain sort of dropped the ball. Lieutenant Gorman is going to step forward at the captain's instruction, and he addressed everybody. He's informing you, yes, there will be some reassignments as a result of this reshuffling, but he fully expects everyone to continue operating with professionalism and skill. And everybody, all the other watchmen or the guards are like looking around like they've got that expression like, oh my God, we got a new lieutenant. We don't want new lieutenants. We don't want lieutenants at all.
I know I keep asking this, but does he realize that half of the people here are here as serving a sentence?
Yeah, well, you've gotten the feeling that from your general interactions that the captain isn't exactly a great judge of character or, well, frankly, of reality. And I have no idea what you mean there, Soren. Why ever would you suspect something's going on there with Lieutenant Gorman?
I don't know. He just has that name that rubs me the wrong way.
He will summon the other 3 sergeants that are present, and including the top sergeant. But he is, but notably the PC, or not the PCs, but the characters. Not the characters. The watch, who should be going on to duty now, have not been dismissed yet. So you're like all standing there looking around. Got that. Should I go? Do I wait? The new lieutenant has some quick discussions with the sergeants, none of whom look particularly happy, and then Sergeant Überraschung comes walking right back towards you guys, and is going to state rather softly, so you can hear, but not everybody else is. Like, I do believe someone is pulling some strings to prevent your investigation. You are being reassigned to Fort Blackfire on the north side in the pit.
Is that a punishment or is that protective custody?
It's the slums. No one wants to go to the North Barracks. Like, you'll need to your previous assignment at the Schavenfest has been rescinded, and you are to report to Lieutenant Brate over there, and as soon as possible. And she will lower her voice even a little bit more. She's like, I do suggest you continue trying to find your wizard while I try to find out who is behind this. And then
well, don't get yourself in trouble on our account.
Glances back towards the new lieutenant, and she's like, I have no idea who this man is.
I think it's been made plain to us.
And you will have to head to the pit. The pit.
It sounds like a fun place.
I guess it's a good thing that Queen's actually been out there quite a bit doing charitable work.
That's true. We are familiar.
Yep.
What's the barracks like over there?
Interesting question. It's small. It's quite a bit smaller.
Still reasonable beds and stuff, or are the beds slums as well?
Well, let me see what this shows. That's not quite what I wanted. They're going to be beds, but they may not be super awesome.
That's it. Probably isn't all that much worse.
It's going to be a bunk, but it's smaller. And by this point, you guys have basically heard that the lieutenant that has been assigned there has been requesting reinforcements for a very long time. But the captain is just like, yeah, it's the pits. Nobody cares. We're just going to write it off.
Do we know what the reinforcements are relating to? Or is it just general, understaffed?
Definitely understaffed, and this is the bad part of town.
So there's not a particular event that's going on that requires extra people right now?
Not right now. I mean, you guys did come over here a couple days ago with a whole force and had to defend the Shallian Mercy House because people were
God, was that only a couple of days ago?
I'd have to check my the thing, the calendar, which I have populated. But so you will be instructed to gather all of your gear, and while you're doing that, the sergeant is going to quickly pen a note of introduction and all that jazz. That you are to provide the new your lieutenant when you the new lieutenant that you're about to meet over there, and she is going to tell all of you to stay careful, stay frosty over there, and you guys are just in the process of exiting the barracks when it really kind of occurs to Kristoff, and he's starting to piece this together, that the entire time that Lieutenant Gorman was talking, that damn ring was hurting his finger again.
Oh, God.
And possibly worse, he did sort of notice that Gorman was eyeing him.
Was it the same pain that I had before? Can I make a connection?
It was definitely the same pain. Like maybe you're able to detect chaos or something with it. Like calls to like. Not that I'm saying you're chaos, or am I?
He's definitely chaos.
Yes, indeed. So you will be able to make your way to the unless there is something you are planning on doing before directly proceeding to the pit and the Fort Blackfire as instructed. I figure I should probably double check and find out before.
Well, I'm gonna go grab a drink then.
It's pretty early, isn't it?
It's late somewhere. We're not on duty until they give us our assignment.
Yeah, the Sergeant Elsie will it will have provided you the letter, and you will have been told to go over to Fort Blackfire and make sure to watch each other's back, because nobody trusts anybody in the slums or the pit.
Yeah. So anyway, well, I am gonna fill up
Finish your breakfast, your liquid breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll hit the ferry and head over, I guess.
Notably, today is the 2nd of Fleifsug, which is what is that? I don't know actually. Abendtag. It is the final day of the Schaffenfest,
Which we're missing.
I know, right? They're just being jerks. Ha ha!
Good time for klutz. Sorry, I forgot to put that box.
That's fine. I'll have to try to make a note of that. Ooh, I know exactly where I'll do that. But
and that lieutenant has a model ship in his office.
No, she might. Oh man, no, she might not be here the next time we play. I may just use that then and knock her out.
That would also be kind of amusing.
You will take the ferry, because I'm presuming there is you just go over there and they see that you're actually members of the watch, and there's something, so you don't have to actually pay for it, because that would be just salt in the wounds. The ferry will ferry you over, and you will begin making your way toward the fort. As you are passing through a particularly rough-looking area, I am totally going to use it because that would be funny. Let me hide that thing first. Like I said,
why was there a grid on that?
Because there might be a fight. As you are passing through a particularly rough-looking part of these slums, I mean, this place is looks like it could definitely use some cleansing fire to just burn it all down to the ground, and then maybe consider rebuilding it. Christoph is going to feel the hairs on the back of his neck just stand completely up.
Oh man.
And he's like, oh crap, just as a number of thugs will lunge out of, various locations of hiding and charge toward the PCs. And as they are charging toward the PCs, obviously I don't have the tokens on there. As they are charging toward the PCs, you will hear them all stating at the same time in a creepy monotone, "You were warned to leave."
We did.
And with that, we are going to fade to black. Cue the music, roll the credits. If you are watching or listening to this, I apologize for not getting a fight, which the PCs managed to skip. But if you have any comments, questions, complaints, or general heckling, feel free to leave a comment here or find us at Discord. Please consider liking and subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels, or don't. I am not your dad. Anyway, thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Bye.
See ya.